Introduction. As you have already learned, Photoshop is an image editing software that allows users to manipulate, crop, resize, and correct color on digital photos. We will learn about some more features of Photoshop in this lesson. Cool fact: Photoshop was originally known as Display. It only displayed grayscale images on a black and white display. Working with images. Opening an image in Photoshop. Go to the File menu and select Open. A dialog box will open asking you to locate the image that you want to open. Navigate to the location of the image on your computer and then click the Open button. This will open the image and display it on your screen. Cropping an image. Often you will find that you only want a part of an image and not the whole image. In Photoshop, we can easily remove the unwanted part of an image by cropping it. Follow the given steps to crop your image. Choose the Crop tool from the Photoshop toolbar. This will change the cursor from an arrow to a box. Place the box at the top left corner of the area you want to select and drag down to the bottom right of the area. This will draw a dotted outline around the area you have selected. On the corners of the box and midpoint along the sides are small squares. These are resizing handles. Click on these squares to increase or decrease the size and shape of the area that you wish to crop. When you have selected the desired area, double-click anywhere within the section of the picture that you have selected to crop, but not on the mark in the center of the image. This will crop the picture. Selection tools. You need to make selections often when using Photoshop to edit and create new images. Once you have made a selection, only the area within that selection can be edited or modified. Areas outside the selection are protected from change. Let's understand how to use the different selection tools. Cool fact: when you have edited a photo or an image, you say it is photoshopped. Rectangular marquee and elliptical marquee tools. The rectangular marquee and elliptical marquee tools are present in the toolbox under the same icon. The icon on the toolbox displays the last tool used. To open the floating menu, right-click on the arrow in the lower right corner of the displayed icon. Rectangular marquee. This tool selects rectangular and square areas. To select a rectangular square area, follow these steps. Activate the rectangular marquee tool by clicking on its icon, or if it was not the last tool used, select the tool from the floating window. Bring the mouse cursor to the point of the image from where the selection starts. Keeping the left button pressed, move the cursor diagonally to the opposite corner and release the button when the desired area is selected. Elliptical marquee. This tool selects the areas of a picture in an ellipse or circle shape. To select an elliptical area, follow these steps. Select the elliptical marquee tool from the toolbox by clicking its icon, or if it was not the last tool used, select the tool from the floating window. Bring the mouse cursor to the point of the image from where the selection starts. Keeping the left button pressed, move the cursor diagonally to the opposite corner and release the button. Lasso, polygonal lasso, magnetic lasso tools. The lasso, polygonal lasso, magnetic lasso tools are present in the toolbox under the same icon. The icon on the toolbox displays the last tool selected. To open the floating menu, right-click on the arrow in the lower right corner of the displayed icon. Cool fact: Photoshop is distributed in 20 different languages. Lasso tool. This tool allows you to make freehand selections. To make a freehand selection, follow these steps. Select the lasso tool from the toolbox by left-clicking on its icon. Or, if it was not the last tool used, select the tool from the floating window. Bring the mouse cursor to the object to be selected and outline it, keeping the left button pressed. Polygonal lasso. This tool makes freehand selections, but its contour is made up of straight segments. To make a selection using the polygonal lasso tool, follow these steps. Select the polygonal lasso tool from the toolbox by clicking on its icon. Or, if it was not the last tool used, select the tool from the floating window. Bring the cursor to any point near the object to be outlined and press the left mouse button. It will be the first point of the contour. Move the cursor to the next point of the contour, not far from the first one, and left-click it again. Photoshop will automatically draw a straight line between the 2 points. Keep putting points in this way until the whole object is outlined and close the contour. Magnetic lasso. When you use magnetic lasso, you do not need to follow the contours of the object precisely. If the object stands out against the background, the border of the selected area will be traced automatically as you move the cursor along the object. To select an area using magnetic lasso, follow these steps. Select the magnetic lasso tool from the toolbox by clicking on its icon. Or, if it was not the last tool applied, select the tool from the floating window. Bring the mouse cursor to the border of the object that needs to be selected. Press the left button and start dragging the cursor along the object. Pay attention to the fastening points that appear as you outline the object. And when you make a click, if a fastening point is irrelevant, you can remove it by pressing the delete key and return to the previous fastening point to continue outlining the object. Close the contour, that is, join the first fastening point with the last one by bringing the cursor to the first point or by double-clicking. Magic Wand. This tool selects a consistently colored area. You can set tolerance in the options palette of the Magic Wand tool. The higher the value, the more colors will fall into the selected area. The tolerance value ranges from 0 to 255. At tolerance equal to 0, the selected area will be represented only by one color. And at tolerance equal to 255, all colors of the image will be selected. That is, the whole image will be selected. To select a consistently colored area, follow these steps. Select the Magic Wand tool in the toolbox by clicking its icon. Bring the cursor to the pixel of the image that must be included into the selection and left-click it. As a result, an outline appears around the pixel. It includes colors of the image similar to the color of the selected pixel according to the specified tolerance value. Painting and drawing tools. The tools to draw and paint in Adobe Photoshop are the pencil tool and the brush tool. The pencil tool draws freeform lines with a hard edge, whereas the brush tool draws lines with a softer edge. It is possible to draw distinct lines with the brush tool also, but they will always have a soft edge as they are indistinguishable from the background. Lines drawn with the pencil tool always have a sharp edge, as there is no interaction with the background. To draw free lines with the pencil or brush tool, follow these steps. Choose a tool from the toolbar. Set the color with which the drawing will be drawn. Choose the parameters for the chosen tool in the Options panel. Bring the cursor over the image in the photo editor. Press the left mouse button and, while keeping the button pressed, move the cursor across the image. Most of the parameters used to define the pencil and brush tools in the Options panel are the same except for a few. Let us discuss these parameters in detail. Cool fact: there are many ways to convert color photos to black and white in Photoshop. Brush. The brush shows the current shape and size of the brush. To change the shape and size of the brush, left-click on the triangle to open the drop-down palette. Set the size and hardness of the brush or choose the shape of the brush from the list of presets. This menu can also be brought up by right-clicking anywhere on the image window. In addition, the shape and size of the brushes can also be changed through the Brushes palette. Mode. The mode parameter sets the style used by the brush. These modes affect how the colors applied by the brush interact with the colors of the background. For example, dissolve, lighten, soft light, etc. Opacity. The opacity parameter affects the level of brightness in which a line is drawn. To change this parameter, enter a value from 1 to 100 in the Parameters field, or press the triangle button and move the slider. At lower values of opacity, the colors of the lines drawn by the tool blends more intensely with the background's colors. Flow. The flow parameter affects every point of color applied by the tool. Each new application of color is more opaque than the one before. This parameter is only available for the brush tool. Airbrush. The airbrush option can only be set for the brush tool. When airbrush is selected, the brush tool paints a line with a border like an airbrush. Retouching and repairing photos. Using a variety of Photoshop tools, you can easily touch up blemishes, whiten teeth, correct red eye, and fix many other imperfections of your images. Let's look at some of the tools that will help to repair your photos. Healing Brush Tool. The Healing Brush tool allows you to fix image imperfections such as scratches, blemishes, etc. By sampling the surrounding area or using a predefined pattern, you can blend the imperfections into the rest of the image. To use Healing Brush tool, follow these steps. Open the image, select the Healing Brush tool, select the brush size and mode in the options bar. Press the Alt key and click on the place of the photo that you want to take as the sample source. Click and drag the spots to repair them. You will notice a plus sign while you are dragging, and the destination area will get repaired according to the sample source area. Spot Healing Brush Tool. The Spot Healing Brush tool is the default healing tool in Photoshop and can be used to clone areas from an image and blend the pixels from the sampled area seamlessly with the target area. The basic principle is that the texture from the sample area is blended with the color and luminosity surrounding wherever you paint. To use Spot Healing Brush tool, follow the given steps. Open the image file. Select the Spot Healing Brush tool. Choose the brush size and brush type from the options bar. Click and drag over the spots to be healed. It will show a black line while you are dragging, and the affected areas will be healed or lightened. Clone Stamp Tool. This tool, also called the rubber stamp tool, copies a selected area of a photo and pastes it over another area. It's a great tool for fixing blemishes on a model's face, removing tattoos, duplicating things, and cleaning dust off an image. To use the Clone Stamp tool, follow these steps. Open an image of your choice. From the toolbox, choose the Clone Stamp tool. In the options bar, set the tool's tip, size, and hardness as we did it for the brush tool. Point the cursor at the image area you want to paint with. Hold down the Alt key and click the mouse. You have just selected the source point for cloning. Drag on the area where you want to create a clone. The aligned option in the options bar, checked by default, forces the source point to follow your mouse, even after you complete a stroke. In other words, every new stroke continues the image started by the first stroke. Deselecting the aligned option starts the sample point from its original location every time you release the mouse button. That is, every new stroke restarts cloning your image from the source point. Pattern Stamp Tool. Pattern Stamp Tool is a very useful tool while making designs. You can use it to give interesting textures and backgrounds to your image. This tool allows you to create your own pattern stamps. You can fill a pattern in your image using this tool. To use the Pattern Stamp tool, follow these steps. Open the image file, click the Edit, Define Pattern options, and set the pattern name as flower as shown in the figure. The pattern created will be of the same size as the document. Open a new canvas. Now click Layer, New Fill Layer, and choose the Pattern option from the menu that appears. The Pattern Fill dialog box appears. From this dialog box, choose a value for scale to fill the layer and then click OK. In the above example, the scale taken is 30. The layer will be filled with the selected pattern. Dodge and burn tools. Dodging and burning are techniques used to improve the appearance of photographs. The term dodging refers to lightening an area of the image, while burning is darkening of the image. The more you paint over an area with the dodge or burn tool, the lighter or darker it becomes. To use the dodge tool or the burn tool, follow these steps. Select the dodge tool or the burn tool. Choose a brush tip and set the brush options in the options bar. In the options bar, select one of the following from the range menu. Midtones changes the middle range of grays. Shadows changes the dark areas. Highlights changes the light areas. Original picture, picture after using dodge, picture after using burn tool. Specify the exposure for the dodge tool or the burn tool. Click the airbrush button to use the brush as an airbrush. Alternatively, select the airbrush option in the brush panel. Select the Protect Tones option to minimize clipping in the shadows and highlights. Drag over the part of the image you want to lighten or darken. Smudge tool. The smudge tool spreads and mixes content of image areas. Follow these steps to use this tool. In the toolbox, select the smudge tool. Choose brush size and style. Set the tool's strength. Drag on the image. Blur tool. The blur tool can be used to soften images. Blur out a background or create a soft tone in a photograph or image. Use the following steps to use this tool. Open an image. Select the blur tool. Now select the brush size, mode and strength values from the options bar. Drag the mouse at the required area to get the desired result. Eraser tool. The eraser tool is basically a brush which erases pixels as you drag it across an image. Pixels are erased to transparency or the background color if the layer is locked. It has 3 variations: eraser, background eraser, and magic eraser. When you select the eraser tool, you have the following options available in the options bar. Brush. Options include the size of the eraser, hardness of the edges, and various styles. Mode. There are 3 options: brush, soft edges, pencil, hard edges, and block square brush size. Opacity. 100% opacity erases pixels completely. 50% is semi-transparent or colored. 0% does not erase at all. Flow. This determines how quickly the eraser is applied by the brush. Lower settings produce a more subtle effect. This option is available only in brush mode. Airbrush. This option allows you to use the eraser as an airbrush. It is also available only in brush mode. Background eraser tool. The background eraser tool allows you to remove the background color from an image or layer. When you click the image, the eraser samples the color at the center of the brush and erases this color as you drag. Options in the toolbar allow you to specify the type of eraser, color tolerance, and sampling method. Magic eraser tool. The magic eraser tool erases all colors within a set tolerance. This is essentially the same as using the magic wand tool and pressing the delete button. Working with text. Adobe Photoshop is mostly used for illustrations and editing photographs. You can also add text in Photoshop and adjust qualities such as the font, size, and color of the text, creating advertisements, images, or titles. Keyboard magic. Simply press T from your keyboard to activate the text tool. Adding text. To add text to a picture, follow these steps. Open the picture to which you want to add text. Click the horizontal type tool from the Tools panel. Select the type of text tool from the submenu. Customize the text using the type options, which include font selection, type size, alignment, and color. Click your image where you would like to insert the text and type the desired text. When you are done, press Escape to exit the text field. Notice that a new layer with your text has appeared in the Layers panel. Working with layers. In Photoshop, layers are used to work on individual parts of an image while not affecting the other parts. You can say that layers are like transparent papers stacked on top of one another, which can be repositioned and separately drawn on without disturbing each other. Top layer, middle layer, bottom layer. Layers panel. A small thumbnail view of an image is displayed in the layer palette. In the Layers panel, we work with different layers. There are 3 things listed in the Layers panel: list of all the layers, the layer groups, layer effects on an image. By using the layer groups, we can manage and organize layers. To arrange layers in a logical order, to reduce cluttering in the Layers panel, and to apply some attributes, we can use the layer groups. The Layers panel is generally used to show or hide layers and working with layer groups. Background layer. The bottommost image in the Layers panel. When you create a new image with either a black or a colored background, is called the background image. There can only be one background layer for an image. we cannot change some attributes of our background layers. These are stacking order, blending mode, opacity. To change the above attributes, we first need to convert the background layer into a regular layer. When a new image is created with some transparent content, the image doesn't have its background layer. It only has a bottommost layer which does not work like a background layer, which is generally fixed and locked. We can move this layer anywhere and perform all other operations that cannot be performed on the background layer. Follow the steps given below for converting a background layer into a regular layer. Double-click the background in the Layers panel or select Layer followed by New, then choose Layer from the background. After setting up the layer options, just click OK. Keyboard magic. Press the Alt plus Ctrl plus A keys to select all the layers. Converting a regular layer to a background. For converting a layer into a background, follow these steps. Select any layer that has to be converted into a background from the Layers panel. Now click on Layers followed by New and select the background from the Layer option. You will notice that transparent pixels in this layer are converted to the background color and the layer is at the bottom of the layer stack. Creating a new layer. To create a new layer, follow these steps. From the Layers panel, click on Create New Layer button or click on the Layer, New, Layer options from the menu. The New Layer dialog box appears. Give an appropriate name to the layer and click OK. A new layer will be inserted. Selecting layers. To work on different layers, you first need to select them. We can select more than one layer at a time, but we can work only on one layer at one time. The layer that is selected is called the active layer. Follow these steps to select one or more layers. To select a single layer, just click on that layer. To select all the layers, click on the Select All Layers options from the menu. You can also select multiple adjacent layers by clicking different layers while keeping the Shift key pressed from the keyboard. Reordering layers. For changing the order of layers, follow these steps. Begin by clicking on the layer whose position has to be changed. Now drag the layer where you want to position it and after releasing the mouse button, click outside the name box. Renaming layers. For changing the name of a layer, follow these steps. In the Layers panel, double-click on the name of the layer. Type the new name that you want to give to the layer. Deleting a layer. For deleting a layer, in the Layers panel, select the layer that has to be deleted. Right-click on the layer and select the Delete Layer option, or you can delete the layer by clicking the Delete Layer icon in the Layers panel. Using filters. You can use filters to clean up or retouch your photos. Apply special art effects that give your image the appearance of a sketch or create unique transformations using distortions and lightning effects. The filters provided by Photoshop appear in the Filter menu. Apply a filter. For applying artistic effects to an image, follow these steps. Open the image. From the Filter menu, select the Artistic option. You will see many different options such as colored pencil, cutouts, etc. Click on the desired option to apply the artistic effect. Click OK to apply the effect. Filter Gallery. There are different artistic effects present in the filter gallery that can be applied to any image with just one click. There is a special user interface for many of the filters with a preview panel that can be expanded and enlarged. The steps for using the filter effects are given below. Open an image and select the layer on which the filter is to be applied. Now click on the Filter menu. Press Ctrl plus F to open the filter gallery. On the right side, a gallery showing all the possible effects will be displayed. Select an effect from the gallery and click OK.